What's good? What's good? The weather today was absolutely fantastic. In the 60s for a March in Seattle. And it was the perfect day for it to be this awesome because we had to get a giant heavy sliding door installed on a second story. And if I feel motivated, maybe I'll clip a picture in here. We had scaffold set up and it took all 4 guys on the crew, but we got it in and it looks good. This house is gonna be awesome when it's done. But anyways, let's get to the subject. How conservatives can dominate the 2026 midterm elections. I myself am not a conservative. I don't love the conservatives. I just hate the progressives. And it seems like the progressives are about to overtake the old guard neoliberal Democrats. And I want to make sure that the conservatives are properly able to combat them. So I'm helping them because it helps me. Student loans. There is a meme. Maybe if I'm motivated, I'll clip that in here too. A friend sent it to me years ago. Did you spend $100,000 to get a college degree to then only work a $40,000 a year job? That meme is real. Like, I've literally experienced that meme. I have a master's degree in business administration. I won't go into details as to why my student loans are higher than they should be. Super long story short, some family drama disrupted my college career and it just really messed stuff up. But I did eventually get a master's degree. And for a time I was working at Boeing, decided I didn't want to be part of the military industrial complex. And so I left and I was making good money at Boeing. And I acknowledge that, but they don't like the marijuana and they make weapons of war. I didn't want to be a part of that. What I didn't realize is that outside of the military industrial complex or outside of the massive governmental bureaucracy, great jobs just are not abundant, even if you have college degrees. If you want to sell your soul, okay, yes, there are more abundant jobs, but I don't want to sell my soul. I'll be honest, I did for a little bit. And I knew that's what I was doing and I didn't like it. And so then I've spent the last 10 years just doing all kinds of shit, but struggling. And then 2 years ago, I've told this story a lot of times, but I'm going to keep telling it. 2 years ago, I was working in a fish factory, just driving a truck, packing boxes, stuff like that. Logistics, right? But they saw my college degrees and they saw that I was a hard worker and I'm competent. And they were like, we actually want to promote you. And I was like, fuck yes. I was making $20 an hour as a driver. And I was like, okay, I'm excited. I was thinking the offer was going to be between 50 and 70K. That's kind of what I thought the offer was going to be. I remember it very well because it gave me a very visceral, like, punch in the stomach. The co-owner of the business, we're walking into the main owner's office. The co-owner comes in behind and he's like, I'm going to close the door because we're going to start the salary negotiations. He closes the door and he looks over at me and he's like, okay, yeah, I think we want to start you at 46K. And I was like, whoa. I didn't actually say whoa in the moment, but in the moment I was like, oh, that is less than I was expecting our starting place to be. I was expecting between 50 and 60K. And then that started a little bit of negotiation, but they really were not going to go above 50K. And I wasn't going to go below 55K. True story. 10 years before that is when I started my Boeing career. Boeing started me off at 56. So 10 years after I was started at 56 at a giant company, I was then told, because this company that was trying to lowball me, they weren't a big company, but they were big enough to pay more than $46K. And so I've literally lived that meme. Yeah. Anyways, let me get back to the student loans. I don't think student loans should be wiped away, although my current student loan payoff plan is just societal collapse. I'll just pay the minimums, until society collapses in 20, 30 years, and then it won't be an issue. But if conservatives really wanted to make a lot of people happy, they would, I'm smoking, so I'm a little rambly, but bear with me. They would defer interest. They would just stop all interest accruing on our loans. So yes, we pay back the principal, but we don't pay back interest. I think that's a fair compromise. I'd be happy with if they just cut everybody's in half, or if they do something, because I would have made different life decisions 20 years ago when I started my college career if I knew this was going to be the reality we're living in. I would have immediately gone into the trades. I'm currently trying to get into the trades, but this economy sucks for most people. Totally, I'm gonna pause. I'll be right back. This economy sucks for most people. And so the idea of bailing out people like myself, I totally understand why someone who didn't go to college, because they knew it was the smart decision, somehow they had the foresight. Everybody in my life was telling me college was the answer. I was forced pretty much to go to college. I mean, forced isn't the right word, but it was pretty much you go to college or you were kicked out of the house. And then they ended up kicking me out anyways, but that's a different story. That's kind of why, anyways. Okay, so I get why average people don't want to bail out the people with student loans. So really what the conservatives should do is come out with a better economic plan than just Donald Trump talking about tariffs. I am so fucking sick of hearing about tariffs. Okay, I don't love Donald Trump. I hate so much about what is going on. A true economic recovery is going to require substantial amounts of deregulation. It's going to mean actually cutting the fucking budget, but no, they can't do that, even though I'm sorry, I'm getting worked up. I don't need to. So they need to actually address inflation, deregulation, some form of student loan relief. And then also, if they wanted to get crazy, they should do some form of non-student loan relief. So if people who don't have student loans should also get some sort of benefit. Something. We got to do something, because we're on the verge of collapse. It would be nice to create a soft landing, maybe, for the... Oh man, see, now we're getting into the whole fighting the technocrats who want to create neo-feudalism or techno-feudalism. And so all of these things I'm talking about, they all sound nice and well-to-do, but in reality, the bigger issue is the oligarchs and the ruling class. And so this video, well-intentioned, but ultimately, the government's not going to help in any way, shape, or form. But if the conservatives still wanted to make progress in the midterms, they could really get some student loan relief ideas out there, and then just better economic plans. Because right now, your fucking plans suck, Donald Trump. You don't care. You're not going to see this. But do better, because things are not better here for the working class. I'm tired of your talk. Do something, please. And now at this point I'm rambling. I'll end the video there. Thank you for watching. Much love.